The stray cat I picked up is a bit strange. How come it looks just like that arrogant girl at school? So I gave her a name. I think you look a lot like that arrogant girl at our school, both arrogant and rude. Her name is Xiao Shi. So you will be called Xiao Shi. Unexpectedly, the little white cat suddenly got angry. Damn man. Xiao Shi, from now on I'm your master, you got it? Meow. The cat's eyes were very unkind. Okay, I heard you. Xiao Shi is so weird. Because I scared you this morning, and I lent my umbrella to that Xiao Shi joke. So I walked in the rain all the way and felt a bit noisy. At the same time, Xiao Shi was staring with her big eyes, asking when to eat. Who would have thought that I took off my clothes so fast that she didn't have time to react? The pure and flawless Xiao Shi joke. It's the first time seeing a boy's bare upper body, that flat abdomen, even with the outline of six-pack abs. Bad. Xiao Shi's little cat face looked like it was burning red. The whole cat panicked and suddenly burrowed under the bed. She didn't mean to look. Looking at the cat fleeing like it was running for its life, I looked blank. What the hell? This little female cat even knows how to be shy? We're not even the same species, okay? Has this cat been aloof for too long? Even looking at a person, she thinks they are good looking? 20 minutes later. After taking a shower, I walked into the kitchen. Considering the cat's taste, I put some shrimp in the fried rice. Xiao Shi squatted on the dining table facing me, eating with relish. For Xiao Shi, Liamo is really a nice person. He can cook and he loves animals. Apart from being a bit bad at school, he really has no shortcomings. And he's 1.8 meters tall and handsome. A person like that not being in a relationship must be because he says things that are too unpleasant. Meow meow. Xiao Shi stretched out her paw and tapped the small steel plate, beckoning me to add rice. I didn't bother to look up, and casually gave her a spoonful of fried rice and continued to stare at the notes next to me. I inexplicably started some study buddy mode. My memory is simply heaven-defying, but my English pronunciation and mathematical logic, I still don't understand at all, so I plan to take an online class to see if I can cram. But it seems that there are no online courses specifically for my situation. Sigh. It's really hard to be a motivated student. Xiao Shi heard this and raised her snow-white little head and looked over. Then widened her eyes even more. He was actually looking for study materials suitable for someone with amazing memory but a very poor foundation. Equivalent to a senior high school student with no foundation taking 100% passing college online courses. What a mess. Meow. I was stunned. What? Are you hungry again? Xiao Shi shook her head, her bright eyes a little lively. You're talking about online classes? Even losers have aspirations, what's so strange about that? But I'm not asking to get into any famous school, I just want to score about the same as the people in the rocket class. It would be even better if I could surpass that arrogant joke. Xiao Shi arrogantly snorted, revealing a contemptuous expression. Her grades are the best in the whole school, okay? And he wants to surpass me with something like online classes? I don't know who gave Liamo the courage. He really dares to think. Meow meow. I heard the sound and looked up. Looking at the empty small steel plate, you ate it all again? Are you a cat or a pig? Meow. Xiao Shi had a fierce look on her face, looking at me angrily. That's right, she is indeed a cat now, but the energy she needs to consume is the same as a human being. How can a little be enough? She only ate a small bite last night. I thought it would be enough, but I was starving before midnight. Forget it. If there are no online classes suitable for me, then I can only continue to look at Xianyu. I sighed. I leaned back and lay on my bed. At this time, Xiao Shi was also full in content, and snuggled comfortably on the carpet. But before she could be happy for a while, my next sentence made her instantly freak out. By the way, Xiao Shi, you haven't taken a bath since you came, have you? Although your fur looks very clean. There might be some bacteria. How about I give you a bath? Xiao Shi was startled when she heard this. She slipped away and burrowed under the bed again. She is a girl, she is a girl. A dignified Xiao Shi joke, staying at your house is already enough, and you still want to hold me and give me a bath? Absolutely not. Xiao Shi, transformed into a cat, was shaking her head crazily under the bed. I heard that he is a clean freak. Xiao Shi was meowing angrily under the bed. He is a clean freak, but compared to being clean, my chastity is the most important thing, right? Damn it, Liamo, you want to give this young lady a bath? Not for another 100 years. Fortunately, my next sentence allowed her to relax temporarily. Forget it, I'm tired today anyway. If you don't want to wash, then don't. But you have to wash tomorrow, you can't run away, you know? I knocked on the edge of the bed, and Xiao Shi under the bed shivered. This is a threat. A blatant threat. Meow house, dirty cat. Don't scold people. Awoo, awoo. Acting like a dog is useless. I reached out and turned off the light and fell asleep instantly. And so, the night was quiet. In the blink of an eye, it was morning. Just like yesterday, as soon as I woke up, I found that Xiaoxi was gone. I wasn't surprised, I just assumed he went for a walk. Young cats don't have to earn money to buy dried fish. Of course, all that's left is to go crazy everywhere. So, after washing up, I carried my backpack and walked out of the door. Arriving at the classroom, I put down my backpack. The heavy thud startled Lao Song in front. Damn, Liam, did you bring bricks to the classroom? I shook my head and took out a heavy stack of books from my bag. These are all my textbooks from my 3 years of high school. Lao Song's face showed a look of realization. Brand new, huh? Back then, you were third in the whole school upon entering. And now you've become third from the bottom. Hearing this, I sighed slightly. That's a past I don't want to remember. Forget it, let's not mention it again. I'm going to recite. I opened the textbook, relying on the photographic memory of the top student mode. I flipped through a book in 3 minutes. Just as I was frantically cramming, a surprised scream suddenly came from the corridor. Look, the joke is here. Hey! What's he doing in our class? The moment the voice sounded, the surroundings were instantly crowded with people. I saw Xiaoxi holding a stack of notebooks, walking gracefully from class 1 to the door of class 2. Her small leather shoes on the smooth floor made a series of clicking sounds. Then, under the gaze of the surrounding students, she walked gracefully to my desk. Then, she placed that thick stack of notebooks on my desk with a bang, startling me, who was buried in studying. Why are you here? What is this? For you. For me? I put down the math textbook. I picked up the top notebook and looked at it. Inside were all the most essential knowledge points in the math textbook subjects. Damn, these are the top student goddess's class notes. Strange. How does she know that I suddenly decided to study hard? I stared at her with wide eyes, as if trying to see the answer from her delicate face. Xiaoxi had never been stared at so directly by a boy like this, which made a blush quickly spread across her cheeks. This scene stunned everyone watching. Then, they turned their attention to me, their expressions gradually softening. What did this guy do? What's his relationship with Xiaoxi? That's right. He's clearly a slacker. Why is he so close to the goddess? Could the goddess have fallen for this Liam? Impossible, absolutely impossible. As the voices of discussion threatened to lift the roof, Xiaoxi finally couldn't stand my gaze. Her face felt like it was burning, so she quickly turned around and hurried away. At this time, the math teacher of class 2 just walked in. He was stunned for a moment when he saw Xiaoxi. Isn't that Xiaoxi, the top student in the school? Why did she run to class 2? But he didn't think much about it, just assuming that she had gone to the wrong classroom. And after seeing Xiaoxi's figure disappear outside the door, I slowly withdrew my gaze. Could she be repaying me for yesterday's rain? Thinking of this, a smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. This girl is a bit interesting. She doesn't seem as cold as she appears. In the time of one class, I finished reading all of Xiaoxi's notes. And as I finished reading, all those beautiful characters were imprinted in my mind, as if I had been enlightened by a martial arts master. At this moment, I was unprecedentedly confident. Lao Song, I'm going to get first place in the class on the next monthly exam. Lao Song heard this and turned his head in disbelief. Really? Did you forget my terrifying memorization ability? Plus Xiaoxi's notes, it's a sure thing. As soon as Lao Song heard Xiaoxi's name, he couldn't help but gossip. By the way, Lao Li, what's your relationship with the school beauty? Why is she so nice to you? Nice? How so? She took the initiative to talk to you. And gave you study notes. I closed the book with a serious look. That's because I lent her an umbrella and raincoat when it rained yesterday, right? There's nothing else. Nothing else? So, that means I still have a chance? Hearing this, I couldn't help but smile softly. No, I don't think you do. Just as the two of us were talking, half a piece of chalk whizzed and hit Lao Song on the head. Not enough talking after class, huh? Still chatting in my class? Come on. Come up and do a problem. Lao Song was instantly stunned. Do a problem? What a joke, being second to last in the whole class, how could I do such profound math problems? So he stood up and said directly that he couldn't, and the math teacher sneered, no need to ask. Liam, you can't either, right? I nodded in agreement, although after reading Xiaoxi's notes, this kind of question is just child's play, but becoming a hero here is not what I want. What I want is to be 11th in the monthly exam. However, the affirmed math teacher revealed a mocking look. People like you are simply wasting educational resources. Calling you parasites is an exaggeration. Then he reached out again and wrote the entire problem-solving process on the blackboard, even if I wrote it out. Can you understand it? Lao Song shook his head. Can't understand. What are you doing standing here if you don't understand? Get out of the classroom. Lao Song's face turned red. And he walked out of the classroom dejectedly, but just as I was about to leave, I discovered that the problem-solving idea he was talking about was wrong. Isn't this misleading people? As someone at the bottom, I immediately stepped forward and slapped him twice. Teacher, your second step is wrong. If the graph of the function is symmetrical about the origin, the assumption that fx might be the maximum value is not valid. This is the primary judgment condition of the problem. When the blackboard reviewed this question again, it was actually his own mistake. He just scolded Liam as trash. Then wouldn't he be even worse than trash? Thinking of this, he froze instantly. He didn't know what to do for a moment. Why is the teacher stunned? Could it be really wrong? But I've copied more than half of it, no way? Just as everyone was wondering. The math teacher suddenly dropped the textbook and left the classroom in shame and anger, seeing this scene. I shook my head helplessly, leaving an incorrect answer and leaving like this, truly misleading people. After speaking, he walked onto the stage, erased the wrong answer left by the teacher, and rewrote an answer. Then he walked outside as if nothing had happened, developing in the corridor. The classroom was silent for 3 seconds. And then there was a sudden burst of noise. Damn, how did Liam suddenly become so powerful? Doesn't he skip class? Could it be Zhao Shi? I was wondering why. The goddess just brought a bunch of notebooks to him. It turns out she's personally tutoring him, right? Envy. At the same time, Lao Song, standing in the corridor, also quietly gave a thumbs up. Liam, you really make us underachievers proud. Keep it low-key. Keep it low-key. I raised the corners of my mouth calmly, and then couldn't help but turn my head to the right. Through the glass, I could just see half of the classroom. At this time Zhao Shi was sitting in her seat. Her 2 little feet swaying. This girl seems to be in a good mood. All the boys in the class and the whole school like her so much. Just looking at her back is enough to make people's hearts flutter, perhaps under my long gaze. Zhao Shi's body suddenly paused. She seemed to be aware of something, and couldn't help but turn around. Our eyes met in mid-air, then immediately separated. Zhao Shi at this time was like a shy little girl. Her face was flushed, and her cheerful feet stopped swaying. She just lowered her head like that, seeming to devote all her attention to the textbook. And at this time I seemed to see something incredible, with a head full of question marks. Why does this girl blush when she sees me? I just lent her my umbrella and rain boots. It's not like I lent her my underwear. Why is she blushing? But Zhao Shi doesn't think so. This bastard Liam is always thinking about taking a bath with me, and I accidentally sought his naked body. How could that not make her blush? At this moment, the class bell suddenly rang. The originally quiet teaching building became lively again. Zhao Shi and the English class representative, Zhong Shuqi, walked out of the classroom together. Zhong Shuqi can be regarded as her best friend, similar to a close friend, Zhao Shi. I still can't do the last big math problem. Can you teach me later? Zhao Shi nodded absent-mindedly. And then lowered her head when she brushed past me. Since she became his cat, she gets flustered whenever she sees him. Seeing this scene, another inexplicable thought popped into my mind. This girl really looks like my Zhao Shi. As long as I open my mouth, she will be scared and run around. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but call out Zhao Shi. Zhao Shi's body suddenly froze when she heard the words, and then her cheeks turned slightly red. What's wrong? Thank you for the notes. You're welcome. Zhao Shi answered in a voice as thin as a mosquito's hum, and hurried away with Zhong Shuqi beside her. However, her good friend Zhong Shuqi saw her flustered expression, and instantly thought of the rumors that had spread throughout the school in the past 2 days, saying that Zhao Shi and Liam from class 2, grade 2 seemed to have a special relationship. She didn't believe it at all. But just now, she actually saw Zhao Shi blushing, and even grabbing his hand tightly. This is not a normal reaction, so she said jokingly, "Don't call me Zhao Shi." Ha! Zhong Shuqi's head was instantly filled with question marks. Zhao Shi bit her lip, not knowing how to explain it to him. She couldn't possibly say that just hearing that name made her think of being petted by Liam. It was really killing her. But Zhong Shuqi, who couldn't get an answer, was completely confused. "I'm your best friend. How can you not let me call you by your nickname?" Zhao Shi was silent again. He really didn't know what to say, seeing that he kept silent. Zhong Shuqi also became interested. "If you don't say, then I'll just call you Zhao Shi, Zhao Shi, Zhao Shi." Zhao Shi's face instantly turned so red that water could drip from it, and she couldn't even take a step. Wang Yung supported the wall with his right hand. I beg you. Yes, at this moment. Zhong Shuqi seemed to have noticed something strange, quickly stopped talking, and hurriedly helped him. What's wrong with you? Why have you been so strange these past 2 days? It's nothing. It's just that I have a terrible reaction to this name. Zhao Shi took a deep breath, raised her head and quietly glanced at Liam O. Zhong Shuqi also followed his gaze, and frowned instantly when he touched Liam O. Zhao Shi's strange reaction these past 2 days was definitely not that simple. He had a hunch that this matter was related to Liam O. He had to investigate carefully. He didn't want his best friend to get involved with a loser. Seeing that her best friend was quiet, Zhao Shi couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It seemed that the name Xiao Shi could only become exclusive to Liam O in the future. Thinking about it carefully, this was too ambiguous. The last 2 classes at noon were physical education, and this time, Class 1 and Class 2 had the class together again. Soon, the students from Class 1 and Class 2 slowly entered the playground, instantly attracting a large number of gazes. Look, wearing sportswear. Zhao Shi with a ponytail. Why does such a perfect being exist? She's also good at studying. And she's also beautiful. After seeing the best, everything else is just average. I estimate that any girl in the future will not be able to make my heart flutter. Hearing the surrounding discussions, Zhao Shi sighed inwardly. Then he went to the center of the playground without looking sideways. He was already used to this kind of scene. But he wasn't worried about these onlookers now. He was worried about Liam O. He couldn't understand why he was clearly a person now, but when he saw Liam O, he had a cat's mentality, wanting to be petted, wanting to climb into his arms, wanting to lick. Damn it, he really regretted it at the birthday party. Making the wish to turn into a cat, he should have turned into a puppy, so that when he saw Liam O, he could chase after him and bite him. Zhao Shi thought while his eyes wandered around, starting to search for Liam O's figure on the entire playground. At this time Liam O was holding a basketball, practicing dunking. Sweat wet his short hair, shining in the sunlight, looking at Liam O's toes pointing upwards. And the action of suddenly lifting his shirt to wipe his sweat, and his slightly visible abs, the plain white and aloof Zhao Shi couldn't help but blush again. No, absolutely can't look. Although this kind of body with abs is really fatal, he won't be that kind of thirsty girl. Thinking this way, Zhao Shi hurriedly looked away. Who knew that as soon as he turned his head, he found Zhong Shuqi standing behind him all along. Not knowing how long he had been watching, Zhao Shi was a little guilty. Chi-Chi, why are you here? Zhong Shuqi stared at his dodging eyes, and suddenly showed a meaningful smile on his face. That basketball player seems pretty handsome. Do you think he has a girlfriend? Hearing these words, Zhao Shi stuttered nervously. Probably not. When he leaves school, doesn't he always come and go alone? That's great. I'll try to strike up a conversation. Zhong Shuqi said, raising the bottle of mineral water in his hand, and walked towards the basketball court. Seeing this scene, Zhao Shi frowned beautifully for a moment, wanting to say something, but in the end said nothing. At this moment, Liam O had just dunked with what he thought was an extremely handsome pose, and as soon as he landed, he heard from behind. A girl's voice came, handsome guy, want a bottle of water? I turned my head to look at Zhong Shuqi. Looking for a handsome guy? The handsome guy just went to the bathroom. Just as Zhong Shuqi was still not understanding the meaning of my words, Old Song ran over from the south side of the playground, panting all the way. The handsome guy is here, said. What do you want this handsome guy for? I smiled. Continued to dribble and shoot. Zhong Shuqi frowned slightly when he saw this. He didn't expect this guy to be so difficult to approach. But he wouldn't be tripped up by this little difficulty. Liam O. I'm Zhong Shuqi from Class 1, can I get to know you? Hearing his name, I suddenly stopped coming up. You're Zhong Shuqi, 5th in the whole school? Zhong Shuqi smiled confidently, thinking to himself that she was indeed a talented woman. A little more charming, perhaps, but my next words stunned him again. Cherish it, next time you'll be 6th. Old Song patted my shoulder. Such a smug look. My brother said he's going to be in the top 5 in the grade next monthly exam. It seems I was overthinking it. Thinking of this, Zhong Shuqi chuckled. He turned and left directly. Just then, the gym teacher blew the whistle, starting to have the physical education representatives of the 2 classes line up. After lining up, it's the usual warm-up jog. The large group was running and shouting, I want to go to Tsinghua. Zhao Shi was in the back of the crowd, watching my back, lost in thought. As a result, at the bend on the second lap, She accidentally stepped on a rock. Then, a cry of pain followed. Zhao Shi staggered and fell to the ground. Damn, Xiaohua fell! Exclamations immediately rang out. Countless boys on the playground rushed over in a panic, but suddenly stopped halfway. They thought of something. Xiaohua seemed to hate physical contact and would never allow any man to touch her. It would be counterproductive. At this moment, Zhong Shuqi broke away from the group and ran over in a panic. Zhao Shi, are you okay? Did you sprain your ankle? Zhao Shi gritted her teeth and tried to stand up. I accidentally stepped on a rock. It's okay. Can you take me to the infirmary? Okay, I'll help you. Try to stand up slowly. So, under countless gazes, Zhong Shuqi supported Zhao Shi, moving across the playground at a very slow pace. Zhong Shuqi, after all, is also a girl. She doesn't have much strength, and helping Xiaohua, whose ankle is already swollen, is getting slower and slower. I watched from the side, my brow furrowing slightly. This is even slower than a turtle. At this rate, they probably won't reach the infirmary by the end of class. I'm not friends with Xiaohua, but I did receive the benefit of her class notes. After hesitating for a moment, I stepped forward. How long will it take you to walk like this? By the time you get to the infirmary, your foot will be ruined. Let me take you. After speaking, I reached out to Zhao Shi. Zhong Shuqi, who was on the side, gradually frowned slightly. Admiring Xiao Shi makes you bear the burden. She doesn't even look at herself. However, the next moment, in her shocked gaze, Zhao Shi slowly reached out and put her hand on my shoulder. Thank you. No need to thank me. This is to repay the favor of your class notes. I squatted down, letting Zhao Shi obediently lie on my back. As a soft and mushy feeling spread, Zhao Shi's face flushed again. He also felt very strange that he didn't mind Lin Mo touching him at all. Maybe it's because he touched her too many times when she was a cat. I got up and quickly left the playground with Zhao Shi, who had twisted her ankle, on my back. It wasn't until our figures disappeared from the playground that the surrounding boys came back to their senses. Then, wails rang out one after another. Damn, what about the germophobia? What about not letting boys touch her? The goddess actually climbed on his back? Does germophobia also have an eye for beauty? Why? Why isn't that person me? The boys on the playground were almost exasperated. Even Zhong Shuqi was still stunned in place without any movement. At this moment, he had only one thought in his mind: the person just now shouldn't be the Zhao Shi he knew, right? At least she doesn't have sharp claws and won't scratch people. I felt the atmosphere was a bit awkward. So, I tried to find a topic. By the way, I've finished reading your study notes. I'll return them to you before school. I guess I won't be able to beat you this monthly exam. You'll definitely be able to after a few more exams. When your 3 consecutive years of being number 1 are taken away by me, don't cry. Zhao Shi listened to me quietly, blinking from time to time, and couldn't help but rub her face against my shoulder. This was completely a subconscious action. Even she was startled after doing it. What are you rubbing? It's itchy. Your foot hurts, not your hand. You can scratch with your hand. Zhao Shi whimpered, wishing she could open her mouth and bite him. I glanced back. Actually, you're not bad either. If you talk more and don't always act indifferent, we might be able to become friends. Zhao Shi heard this and hummed softly. She actually forgot about her injured foot. She inexplicably felt very comfortable like this. Comfortable enough to want to purr. I sighed helplessly. Can you not spit out one word at a time? Okay. So, now it's changed to 2 words? Fine. I'm convinced. I clicked my tongue, thinking that this girl is indeed only suitable for viewing from a distance. But if you really marry her, and she can't say 10 words in 3 days, that would be infinite loneliness. Thinking of this, I pulled her up a bit and then walked into the school infirmary door. Is the teacher here? Business is coming. Why are you talking like that? Is calling an injury a business? A female doctor in her 30s wearing a white coat walked out of the infirmary. She sprained her foot during PE class. Can you take a look? I put Xiaohua's foot on the bed and held her injured ankle. Who knew the female doctor only glanced at it twice, then looked at me on the side and helped her take off her socks and shoes. Hearing these words, my eyes widened instantly. Aren't you her boyfriend? Teacher, please don't talk nonsense. I am a good student who never has early relationships. The female doctor sneered. Is that okay? I've been through this age too. I'm not that old-fashioned. Hurry up and take them off. I was a little helpless, so I squatted down in front of Xiaohua. When I reached out, I hesitated for a moment, then suddenly looked up. Zhao Shi. Your feet don't smell, do they? I heard that beauties have unknown flaws. Hearing this, Zhao Shi kicked me angrily. Your feet smell. Then she snorted softly. Hurry up and help me take them off. I don't know what I owed you in my past life, I muttered to myself. Then I held her little foot and helped her take off that little temper. Not bad, I must say. Zhao Shi's fair little feet were like warm jade. Her toenails were trimmed neatly and beautifully. She could even be a foot model. I subconsciously sniffed it and it even had a faint fragrance. Holy crap! Do I have this hidden hobby? To hide my embarrassment, I pretended to cough twice. Then I looked at the doctor on the side. Teacher, I've taken them off. Okay. Let me see. The female doctor squatted down and pinched it with her hand. Why is it so swollen? It shouldn't be this bad. Could this be a recurrence of an old injury? Zhao Shi hesitated for a moment, then nodded. I've sprained it before when I was dancing ballet. So it was from dancing ballet. The female doctor nodded thoughtfully. Rub it with your hands for now. I'll give you some medicine later. It's a pity there's no ice pack here, otherwise the effect would be better. Zhao Shi obediently rubbed her ankle, but when she subconsciously looked at me, she found that I had already disappeared. Has he already left? Thinking of this, a trace of disappointment flashed in her eyes. How strange. What exactly am I expecting? Shouldn't he leave? I'm not his anything. However, when she lowered her head, she was suddenly stunned. Where are my socks? At the same time, inside the school's convenience store, I was stuffing the popsicles I just bought into Zhao Shi's 2 socks. Seeing this, the proprietress couldn't help but feel a chill. These are girls' socks, right? You're a young high school student. Why don't you learn something good? Do popsicles like this taste better? But when I heard it, my eyes widened suddenly. Is this idea possible? Or does the proprietress have experience? Inside the infirmary on the other side, the female doctor walked in with a medicine box. After scanning the room, she suddenly felt uninterested. Did your boyfriend leave? You said you're such a pretty girl. Why did you find such an unreliable person? Hearing this, another trace of disappointment flashed in Zhao Shi's eyes. But thinking of something, she suddenly looked up. Teacher, have you seen my socks? Socks? The female doctor was stunned for a moment. Her gaze suddenly shifted to the white wall on the east side. There was a propaganda poster hanging on that wall. The content was a graphic version of the student first aid plan. In the 3rd section, there was an ankle sprain. The quarantine treatment plan is to put popsicles in socks and then on the ankle. Cold compress for 40 minutes to an hour. But very few people look at this thing. It's basically just for decoration. I didn't expect that in such an impetuous era, there would be boys with such thoughts. This made the 30-year-old unmarried female doctor suddenly feel like falling in love. Teacher. Seeing that she didn't speak for a long time, Zhao Shi couldn't help but call the doctor again. The female doctor turned her head and smiled reassuringly. Your socks will be back soon. Also, I take back what I just said. Zhao Shi looked blank. I don't know what the other party is talking about. What I mean is, your boyfriend is pretty reliable. This made Zhao Shi even more confused. She knew that the boyfriend the female doctor was talking about was Liamo, but what did pretty reliable mean? Is leaving like this considered reliable? Just as she was racking her brains, the door of the clothing room suddenly opened. I saw myself walking in from outside the door with popsicles and her socks in my hand. It's too hot. Teacher, please have a popsicle. I smiled and handed over a popsicle. He handed one to the doctor and then handed another one to Zhao Shi, then squatted down, looked at her, and smiled. How is it, princess? Does it still hurt? Zhao Shi didn't say anything. Instead, she looked at her socks, which were bulging. What was stuffed inside them? What? It's still wet? I didn't explain much. I used the socks as a makeshift ice pack and applied it to her ankle. The icy coolness instantly reduced the burning pain. At this moment, Zhao Shi stared. It was really worth it. Half an hour later, I looked up at the doctor and teacher beside me. Is the time almost up? Hearing this, a look of disappointment flashed in Zhao Shi's eyes again. I really want to be carried. The female doctor glanced at the clock on the wall and then nodded. Don't get it wet these few days, it should get better soon. I was stunned when I heard this. Can't get it wet? Yeah, you have to persevere through this period. Then I can't wash my feet? Won't they be very smelly? Hearing my words, Zhao Shi suddenly kicked my butt angrily. She actually kicked me. I'll never help you again next time. I retorted unhappily, then carried him out of the infirmary. The female doctor looked at our departing backs and felt a little touched. Youth is so good. It always makes people's hearts flutter. In the vast campus, a gentle breeze floated by, blowing through the lush green trees, making a rustling sound. At this moment, Jiaoxi silently leaned on my back, not saying a word. As the two were crossing the long bridge over the campus lake, Zhong Shuqi walked over from the other side of the bridge. Jiaoxi, are you feeling better? Yeah, much better. That's good. It's time to eat. Let's go together. After speaking, he looked at me warily. You're not going to eat with us, Jiaoxi, are you? No, I don't need to. I have other things to do. After handing Jiaoxi over to Zhong Shuqi, I turned and left freely. Having paid back this favor, I figured the two of us wouldn't have much interaction afterwards. However, when school was dismissed in the evening, I was stopped in my tracks by Zhong Shuqi again. At this moment, Zhong Shuqi's expression was very serious. I could tell at a glance that he was here to question me about something. Sure enough, getting involved with Jiaoxi, what good could come of it? I sighed inwardly. Then I looked at Zhong Shuqi in front of me. What's the matter? Well, there's something I want to talk to you about. Let's go somewhere else. Okay, let's go to Jiexing Park. At this moment, there were many people around in Jiexing Park. I lent him an umbrella on a rainy day. And a pair of rain boots. It's impossible. There must be something else. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so close to you. I was stunned when I heard this. We're close? Where did you see that we're close? However, Zhong Shuqi became serious again. You should know how much Jiaoxi hates physical contact with others, let alone letting someone carry her on their back. That's completely impossible. I don't know about that. I shook my head and then broke the grilled sausage I bought on the way into pieces. I placed a row of them on the edge of the flower bed. Seeing this scene, Zhong Shuqi was confused. What are you doing? Oh, there are a lot of stray cats and dogs around Jiexing Park. I'm here to improve their meals. Zhong Shuqi was very shocked when he heard my words. You often come here to feed them? The time isn't fixed, I come when I remember. But the stray cats and dogs here all know me. As I was speaking, a rustling sound suddenly came from the bushes. Immediately afterwards, a black mongrel dog poked its head out of the flowers. This is Xiao Hei. When I first saw him, he was even smaller than this. I reached out and gently rubbed Xiao Hei's head. Zhong Shuqi was slightly stunned and couldn't help pursing his lips. He had a moment just now, when he actually felt that this boy was really handsome and sunny. What's going on? Could it be an illusion? Seeing that he hadn't spoken for a long time, I turned my head and asked suspiciously. Is there anything else you want to say? Zhong Shuqi came back to his senses when he heard this. Do you know? Jiaoxi was originally going to go to college abroad, but she didn't want to be alone in a foreign country, so she spent a lot of effort convincing her parents to let her stay in the country. I thought for a moment and nodded. Someone like Jiaoxi who was born into a wealthy family, her family education should be very strict, but she chose a uncertain future, which obviously requires a lot of effort, so I don't want anyone to affect her college entrance examination. Okay, I understand, I will never talk to him again in the future. Zhong Shuqi was stunned again when he heard this. This guy actually agreed with him. Besides, why was his smile so slow and full of kindness? Don't you think I'm being too nosy? I shook my head with a smile. You're doing it for your best friend. There's no malicious intent, so I can accept it. The immediate problem has been resolved. There's no need to stay any longer. After throwing the garbage bag into the trash can, I turned and left Jiexing Park. Seeing this, Zhong Shuqi couldn't help but stand up. Humph, it's good you know what's what. I thought I'd have to waste more breath. He muttered to himself, squatted down, and gently stroked his little head. Sorry. Something came up, so I'm late. Let's go, I'll make you food. After saying that, he got up and opened the door. What I didn't expect was that Xiaoxi meowed twice and limped into the house. Seeing this, I couldn't help but laugh. Why is your hind leg lame? Did you fight with stray dogs? Meow. Xiaoxi waved his front paw angrily. Little cutie wants to be fierce. I told you not to go out and run wild all day, but you wouldn't listen. I squatted down and picked him up. After carefully examining his hind leg, the problem wasn't too serious, just a bit swollen. Meow, meow. I struggled in my hands, kicking my hind legs constantly. It's over, I've been completely seen. Deadly MO, stinkily MO. Meow, meow. My innocence is gone, I can't get married. After dinner. I picked up Xiaoxi again and checked him for a long time. I originally planned to give him a bath today. But his leg inexplicably went lame again, so let's forget about the bath. Can you be a little better in the future? Don't run around everywhere. I touched his head with a doting look, but Xiaoxi wasn't happy at all. He had already been picked up and seen, and his innocence was gone. Bathing or something was already irrelevant, right? It's good that it's just a cat's body. If it was his original body, he couldn't even imagine that scene. Seeing him struggling again, I didn't tease him anymore. After putting him down, I returned to the desk to start reviewing. Tomorrow is Chang Nan's monthly exam, and it's also a chance to change my slacker identity. Although that knowledge has been completely and accurately imprinted in my mind, there's no harm in reviewing it once. Although I don't expect to surpass Xiaoxi this time, there shouldn't be a problem with getting into the top 5 in the grade, right? I hope that little girl named Zhong Shuqi doesn't cry. Just as I was concentrating on reviewing, Xiaoxi was pondering back and forth in the room. Today, Shuqi said that boys' rooms have unspeakable secrets. He's been living here for 3 days and hasn't explored it properly. Thinking of this, he sells the blood-white ladder, jumping up and down, from the headboard to the wardrobe. A burst of stripping of the clothes inside, but did not find the kind of real-life proportions of the characters Shichi said ah. Then he turned his head and looked at the bookshelf on the side, so he lifted his feet and jumped up suddenly. But the weight of his kick directly brought a shelf down. This sudden clang. Stinky cat, what are you doing again? I looked at the clothes that had fallen to the back. My eyes suddenly widened. Meow. Xiaoxi refused to be outdone. Opening his mouth, he said a sentence in cat language, Dio Lei Lu Mao, fuck your mom. You're still not convinced? Then you can sleep on the street today. I pretended to be angry and was about to grab him. Meow, meow. Xiaoxi was startled and couldn't help but take a step back. There are stray dogs dominating the streets outside. On the first night he turned into a cat, he was lucky to escape because he could climb trees. This stinky Li Mo. I thought he was a good person. I had just felt a slight sense of kinship towards him in the infirmary. He's going to treat me like this. Meow, meow. I reached out and picked him up. Although what I said earlier was to scare him, necessary punishment measures are still necessary, otherwise he will become lawless in the future. Then, holding him, I came to the bathroom. As punishment, you're going to be locked in the small dark room. Meow. Xiaoxi looked at me angrily. All his previous good feelings had vanished. All he had was the urge to bite the other person. Accept your punishment obediently. I'll let you out when I finish reviewing. Meow, meow. Xiaoxi was extremely aggrieved at this moment. It was no use calling. Who told you to make trouble for me? I smiled triumphantly and then thoughtfully closed the bathroom door for him. It was already 9 o'clock in the evening. I reviewed a little of all the content from the past 3 years, and then closed the book. I was just about to let Xiaoxi out, but the phone on the table suddenly rang. It turned out that Lao Song sent a string of numbers through QQ. Hurry up and add the group. What group? The school's general group. It's almost turned upside down because of you. Go check it out quickly. I frowned slightly. Because of me? What did I do? It's not like you carried Xiaoxi to the infirmary. You even stayed there for an hour. Everyone is saying they're going to skin you alive. Skin me alive? That's serious. I clicked on that string of numbers. I successfully joined the Changnan High School's general group chat. As soon as I entered, I saw several photos taken from a compromising angle. The photos must have been taken from upstairs. The scene was of me carrying Xiaoxi to the infirmary. Below the photos were countless condemnations from the boys, especially the last few, which were all posted by elite students from the rocket class. Their academic performance is excellent, they're basically seeds for famous universities, so they look down on a loser like me. Some even despise me. I coldly sent a message in the group, such great skill in belittling others behind their backs. Amazing. Especially the social elites, are you all so confident? The replies in the group instantly stopped. The atmosphere was extremely awkward. They were caught talking bad about someone behind their back. There must be a mole in this group, but even if Liam caught us, so what? Can he really change the fact that he's a loser? Liam, don't think you can't be talked about just because you're in here. What qualifications do you have to like Xiaoxi? That's right, saying you're a toad trying to eat swan meat is even flattering you. You're not even a toad. Seeing these messages, I wasn't angry. Instead, a meaningful smile appeared on my face. How about we make a bet? What kind of bet do you want to make? Everyone here today is included. If I score better than you on this monthly exam, you must apologize to me in front of the whole school and call me Grandpa, I was wrong. Of course, if I lose, I'll drop out of school immediately. Looking at the two lines of the bet in the group, the boys from the rocket class burst into laughter. Liam, what qualifications do you have to compare your grades with us from the rocket class? Ask around in the group. Who would believe that a loser like you could score better than the rocket class? That's right. As long as one person is willing to believe you, I'll take you up on this bet. But if you lose, the person who vouches for you must also drop out of school with you. Seeing this, my brow furrowed. Would anyone be willing to believe in me? Even if someone believed, would they dare to bet they're dropping out of school? Suddenly, I was slightly stunned. I clicked on her profile picture and found out it was a girl. At school. I don't have any close female friends, let alone someone who would come out and help me in this situation. However, her appearance completely changed the atmosphere in the group, not just those who were joining in the commotion. Even the elite students from the rocket class stopped talking. Is it okay? Can I? Yeah, of course, you can. The fifth in the grade certainly has the qualifications to vouch, but is it necessary? Yes, Jong Shuchi. Our bet is about dropping out of school. How can you vouch for him? The elite class students in their hearts became more and more uncomfortable. Zhao Shi is a goddess, and Zhong Shuchi is also very popular. These two best friends are known as the talented women of Changnan. One is close to Liam, and the other is willing to drop out of school for Liam. What's going on? How did they get such a good relationship? Seeing this, I also knew his identity. Zhong Shuchi was actually willing to vouch for me. Didn't she make fun of me today for dreaming of being fifth in the school? Thinking of this, I closed the group chat and sent Zhong Shuchi a friend request. Unexpectedly, she accepted it instantly and sent a message. What's up? I hesitated for a moment. Why did you help me? I think it's fun. I also want to see what level you're really at, even if it means dropping out of school. So what if I drop out of school? My dad is the principal of experimental high school. Even if I leave Changnan, I can still take the college entrance exam. I suddenly understood. Ra la ve. And hung tua jup on kung ko du kiende. Duan la aid nua. I hope you can clarify your relationship with Zhao Shi in person. I don't want her to be affected. Okay. I nodded without the slightest hesitation and then looked at that student group chat. Since we have our English representative vouching, I'll take this bet. Me too. Count me in. I looked at the long list in the group, and a smile unconsciously appeared on the corner of my mouth. How silly. None of you are even in the top 10 in the grade, yet you dare to clamor. With super memory and joke notes as a bonus, the odds are too high. If I still can't get into the top 10 in the grade like this, then dropping out of school wouldn't be a loss. Just then, the corner of my eye caught the time on the phone in the upper right corner. It's 11 o'clock. I had unknowingly been arguing with them in the group for 3 hours. Thinking of this, a pair of angry cat eyes suddenly appeared in front of me. Crap, the cat's going to go crazy. I quickly left the room. Hastily opened the bathroom door. Meow. Zhao Shi was looking at me with a face full of resentment and anger. 3 hours, locked up for a whole 3 hours. Damn Liam, you stinky Liam, is this how you treat me, a joke? Luckily, I'm not that restless. I've been quiet since I was a kid, otherwise these 3 hours would have driven me crazy. You beast in human clothing, you only know how to bully me. Zhao Shi, you're angry? Meow. Zhao Shi still looked angry. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just that something suddenly happened just now. As I said that, I quickly took out my phone to look. It's a bet. Zhao Shi looked up, slightly stunned at the information on the phone. Such a thing actually happened in the school. Is it because of me? Okay. Since you didn't forget about me on purpose, then forget it. Meow. Zhao Shi jumped off the toilet lid and walked out of the bathroom with a proud look. One early morning, when I walked into the campus, many eyes were focused on me. The bet in the main group yesterday had already spread. Almost everyone knew what happened last night. A loser who always fails his exams actually wants to win against the top class. This bet is simply a freebie, but many people want to know what tricks Liam is up to. Is he planning to cheat like crazy, or does he really want to take this opportunity to drop out? But no matter what, no one in the school believes I will win. Even though I solved the most difficult problem in Class 2 yesterday, the people in Class 2 still have no confidence in my performance in the monthly exam. Lolly, I'm going to the exam room. You must cheer up. Don't worry, the worst that can happen is that I'll drop out. Lao Song yawned. Hey, you don't have any confidence at all, you just want to drop out coolly, right? I patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, even if I lose to someone, I won't lose to those guys in the elite class. Okay, but I still have to remind you, don't cheat. The school already knows about the bet. I guess they will send special teachers to keep a close eye on you. Okay, I understand. I squeezed my high school entrance exam card and stepped onto the third floor. After entering the exam room, the faces around me were unfamiliar, but I thought others were unfamiliar. But others didn't think I was unfamiliar at all. With the bet going on, it's hard for me not to be watched now. This guy is Lee Mo. He's so brave. Maybe he has some high-tech cheating device. I guess he doesn't even know how to cheat, he just wants to drop out as an excuse. I walked past them, hearing their whispers, and couldn't help shaking my head. The exam rooms of Changnan High School are arranged according to grades, right? That is to say, losers take the exam together. Elite students take the exam together. Most likely everyone in this classroom are big idiots. Copying from them? You must be out of your mind to do that. Just then, a figure in front of the door suddenly attracted most of the attention. It's Zhong Shuqi. Why is he here? He's an elite student. Isn't he not in this exam room? I heard he spoke up for Lee Mo last night. Oh man, another female academic. While speaking, Zhong Shuqi carried a cup of milk tea and walked in front of me, naturally putting the milk tea in her hand. On my desk. The milk tea is for you. I was slightly stunned. This is for me? Why? Zhong Shuqi crossed her arms. Please do well on the exam later. Although they all said I don't need to drop out, I can't afford to lose face. I know you all have no confidence in me, but I will give them a surprise. I really don't know where your confidence comes from. I raised my hand and gently tapped my head. Zhong Shuqi was silent for a moment. I'll be satisfied if you don't get the lowest score. Goodbye. Watching his figure walk out of the classroom, I picked up the milk tea on the table and shook it. Zhong Shuqi's attitude towards me seems to have changed a lot. Why? I really can't figure it out. Just when I was racking my brains, another figure walked in from outside the door, and his appearance made the candidates in the classroom instantly hold their breath. Xiao Hua. Why is he here too? I saw Zhao Shi appear at the classroom door at this time, sticking her head inside to look. Then she walked in aggressively. She was also holding a cup of milk tea in her hand. Why are you here? I looked at Zhao Shi with a puzzled look. Zhao Shi raised her head and snorted coquettishly, throwing the milk tea directly on my desk and turning to leave. The whole process lasted less than 10 seconds. Almost no one reacted from the time she came to the time she left. Lee Mo locked me in the bathroom for 3 hours. If it wasn't because the bet was related to me, I wouldn't be here encouraging you. However, at this moment, I was wearing a face full of question marks. What the hell was this atmosphere of Xiao Hua being angry? When did I provoke her? Also, is this milk tea poisonous? I picked up the 2 cups of milk tea with a confused look and shook them. These 2 cups of milk tea are exactly the same, both bought at the school gate. The pearls are pearls. The milk tea is milk tea. It doesn't seem to be a problem. Just at this moment, I found the note left by Xiao Hua on that cup of milk tea. It had a sentence written on it in a gentle and elegant font, the most ruthless sentence. You are dead if you fail the exam. What the hell is this? Xiao Hua is threatening me with the exam. Damn, I took her to the infirmary to check her foot yesterday, okay? This ungrateful young lady. I don't even know if she washed her feet, and I massaged them for half an hour. And she dares to threaten me? But then again, the taste of the popsicle in her sock was pretty good. I placed the 2 cups of milk tea in front of me, hesitated for a long time, and finally opened Zhao Shi's cup. Ding-ling-ling. Just at this moment, the class bell rang coincidentally, and the proctor walked into the classroom with the test papers. Everyone, please put away anything that is not related to the exam. I'm warning you. Don't cheat. If you get caught again, you will get a 0. Understand? Hearing this warning, I raised my head slightly, looking listless at the podium. The person proctoring this time is actually our class's math teacher, who I said was going through menopause in class yesterday. Good heavens! It seems Lao Song was right. The school really knew about the bet and specially sent her to proctor me. Is that necessary? I'm just a bad student. How much trouble can I cause? Don't even think about cheating. I will be watching you for these 2 hours. I won't let go of even the slightest movement you make. The math teacher walked to my side while distributing the test papers, letting out a cold snort. Thank you for your concern, teacher. I won't cheat. I took the test paper and looked at it carefully. A bunch of knowledge suddenly poured into my mind. This session is testing math, and what I reviewed last night was math. So, these old questions are a piece of cake for me. So, the fierce and satisfied me wielded my pen like the wind. Ah, I was just awesome. The students who were still scratching their heads and making changes were stunned. This guy must be guessing wildly. Did he know the answers to the multiple choice questions at a glance? And the math teacher sitting not far away couldn't help but frown. Is Liam guessing wildly? He must be guessing wildly. The other day he pointed out my mistake, but it was just good luck. If one can slightly put in effort, one can change one's academic performance, then what do we need teachers for? Soon the bell rang for the end of the class. Whether they finished or not, all the candidates successfully handed in their papers. And at this time, I had already finished the questions. I even took a nap. I did what I needed to do, and I am quite satisfied with my performance. After handing in the paper, there was a 20-minute break, so I walked out of the examination room and walked to the garden in front of the teaching building. This area is open, and there are many students who come to relax. I sat in a quiet corner and looked around. Suddenly, I saw the gentle Xiao Hua. Today, she was wearing a white short-sleeved shirt and a gray short skirt. She was sitting by the pond reading a book. I was slightly lost in thought. Everyone says Zhao Shi and I are in love. But that's impossible, right? Such a perfect girl, and also a top student. What kind of boyfriend can't she find? But if I really married her, just looking at her seems very comfortable. Just then, Zhao Shi also noticed me looking at her. Her eyes lit up instantly. Go find your master. I'm not going. You locked me up for so long yesterday. Absolutely not going. I looked at the suddenly angry Zhao Shi, a little puzzled. Did I do anything hateful? Why does this girl always have a gnashing teeth expression towards me? Should I go over and ask? Or forget it? Rumors are already spreading all over the school. I should still maintain a stranger relationship with Zhao Shi. My ordinary life cannot be broken because of this. I knew you'd be looking. Didn't you see enough of me when you picked me up yesterday? Zhao Shi said angrily. Taking advantage of no one noticing, she picked up a stone and threw it over. I went. I hurriedly spread my legs, and the stone flew past my crotch. This Xiao Hua has good aim. Is this intentional? Aiming at such an embarrassing spot. Does that really fit her image as a cold and aloof goddess? Zhao Shi wrinkled her nose at me and turned her head away with a delicate snort. Seeing this, I defiantly secretly picked up the stone I just dropped and threw it back as well. Seeing this, I sulkily picked up the stone from earlier and threw it too. But I wasn't aiming at Zhao Shi, but the pond next to Zhao Shi, and all I heard was a splash. The pebble fell into the water, splashing a spray of water, and Zhao Shi, who was sitting by the pond, was splashed right in the face, then stared at me intently. Damn it, Zhao Shi wiped the water from her cheek. In the direction where I was sitting, seeing me slightly amused, she was really amused by me. At the same time, on the fourth floor across from the garden, Zhong Shuqi leaned against the window. She propped up her arm and looked down. Do they really have nothing to do with each other? Apparently, are mutual. The scene of throwing pebbles had already been seen by him, so he couldn't help but think again. The inside story that happened on the playground, as expected, once the two of them get closer. It's as if there's only each other, and no one can interfere, but how does he feel in his heart? There's a strange sour taste, probably because his goddess is too close to someone else. Time quickly came to the evening. I packed up my school bag and prepared to go home and have a good rest. As a result, as soon as I walked out of the school gate, I ran into a figure rushing towards me. Isn't this Zhao Shi? I immediately looked around, seeing that there was no one around. I hurried forward to stop him. Hey, Zhao Shi. Zhao Shi, who was about to go downstairs, was immediately startled. He only had 10 minutes before he transformed. If he doesn't leave the school at this time, he might be seen running so fast. Where are you going? Zhao Shi turned around, and immediately remembered the shadow of being locked in a dark room by his hateful owner. He was a little nervous, and immediately grabbed the railing with his hand, clenching his teeth. You want to run after hitting me with a stone? Dream on, tell me. What's going on with your anger today? Zhao Shi snorted coldly, turned his head and didn't intend to pay attention to him. Could it be that he should tell him that it's about his cat? Could it be that he should tell him that he was locked in his bathroom for 3 hours? To tell him that he had already been seen naked by him? No, he would never tell this secret. Seeing his arrogant look, I smacked my lips. I don't seem to have offended you? What followed was still Zhao Shi's cold snort. I scratched my head. Forget it. I won't dwell on this. Then you don't like me, do you? Hearing this sentence, Zhao Shi's shoulders trembled instantly. What a joke, he wouldn't fall in love in just 3 days. Fall in love with someone, once he doesn't have to transform into a cat, he will definitely leave you in a flash. Why don't you talk? Do you really like me? Don't like you. I smiled slightly. That's good, I can't afford to raise a young lady. Jiaoxi glared at me fiercely, turned around and ran downstairs quickly. Can't afford to raise me? You've already started raising me. Okay, who was it that forcibly scratched me into his arms and touched me? I even know how inaccurate you are when you snore while sleeping, you bastard. Jiaoxi ran quickly while complaining, until he disappeared around the corner of the alley, and I slowly walked out of the school gate and went in the same direction. When I returned to the door of my house, I saw Xiaoxi guarding here on time. Yo, little scumbag cat, you've been coming back on time recently, saying that he raised his foot and aimed at his snow-white butt. Just one kick, meow. Xiaoxi was very dissatisfied. But he still obediently followed me into the house. I put down my backpack and poured a glass of water to drink. Then sat on the sofa in the living room, maybe because I hadn't taken the exam seriously before. This time I took the exam seriously for a day. It's really exhausting, Xiaoxi. You seem to have gained a lot of weight recently. Go, make me dinner. Meow. Xiaoxi raised his head in disbelief. Are you crazy? You're asking a little kitty to cook for you. Do you have a heart? Wow. How could I meet an owner like you? Really, lazy cat, doesn't even want to cook. It's my bad luck to be your owner. I sighed and walked into the kitchen. Saturday afternoon, I stretched at the school gate, finally finished the exam. I looked at the blue sky, and my mood gradually relaxed. This period of time, I am very satisfied with my performance, and the estimated score is about the same, according to this deduction. It should be impossible to repeat a grade. Judging from your expression, you did well on the test. At this time Zhong Shuqi was standing behind me. He reached out and patted my shoulder. I turned around and looked at her. It's you. Xiaoxi, I don't know. She seems to have left quickly. She's always mysterious. Zhong Shuqi was silent for a moment. After we left school, we rarely spent time together. I don't know much about this. I couldn't help but touch my chin. This girl. So, she's so cold even to her best friend. Maybe that's just how she is. But you seem really interested in her. No, I was just asking. Zhong Shuqi avoided the question. After a slight hesitation, she got into a silver BMW. Just asking, but even if it's just asking, it's still related to Xiaoxi. But things based on habit, you can't be wrong, right? Thinking of this, Zhong Shuqi's heart twinged. Why would she think like this? Crazy, really crazy. Xiaoxi is my best friend. It's normal to care, but why do I care so much about what Liamo thinks? At the same time, in front of my house, Xiaoxi looked at her hands and feet. An unbelievable expression appeared on her face. The transformation time had passed, but she hadn't turned into a cat. How could this be? Could my wish have been cancelled? But to cancel a wish, there should be a reason. Was there anything different between today and yesterday? Why wasn't it cancelled yesterday? Why was it cancelled today? Countless questions flashed in Xiaoxi's mind. But she was flustered and didn't know what to do. Just then, I suddenly appeared in the hallway and stared at her with a strange expression. This is Xiaoxi, right? I shouldn't be mistaken, right? But what is she doing standing in front of my door? Hey! Xiaoxi was startled. She immediately turned around in a panic. Crap, the owner is back. But I haven't transformed and I'm stepping on her doormat. I walked forward and looked at her. What are you doing in front of my house? I took the wrong turn. Xiaoxi lowered her head. A blush spread across her cheeks. I gave her a strange look. Didn't you know this was my house before? You saw it last time when it rained. How can you take the wrong turn? I said I took the wrong turn. Xiaoxi looked up, staring at me tearfully. Okay. Then, why don't you come in for a bit? I just said it casually, but Xiaoxi nodded without even thinking. You're really going in? Xiaoxi bit her lip. I want to. I didn't deeply understand what I want to meant. I just asked Zhong Shuqi and found out that Xiaoxi doesn't have many friends after school. So, I opened the door and invited her in. But where did that twin-tail girl go today? Strange, she's usually home by now. Could she be out having fun again? Never mind, I have a guest at home. I'll think about it later. There are slippers in the shoe cabinet. What I wanted to say was, in the shoe cabinet. There are new camel-colored slippers she can wear. But when I turned around, Xiaoxi had already put on the slippers. White lace ankle socks covered her small toes. Changing into slippers, she felt like a domestic little woman. My eyes widened instantly. I haven't finished speaking. How did you know there were slippers in the shoe cabinet? Zhao Shi suddenly became angry again. She went straight into the living room, preparing a pair of women's slippers while living alone. This guy is definitely not a good person. What's wrong with me? I felt inexplicable and silently followed her into the living room. This girl really doesn't act like a stranger at all. I really don't know who's the host. I poured her a glass of water. Do you want some water? As soon as I finished pouring the water, Zhao Shi skillfully took out a coaster from the drawer under the coffee table. This is really strange. How does she know everything? Have you been to my house before? I looked at her blankly, making me lose confidence in my own memory. Zhao Shi picked up the cup and took a sip, then shook her head. She wouldn't tell. Let her guess. Who told her to lock herself in the bathroom? I haven't been here before. Damn, that's scary. You're not a stalker or something, are you? You're like the type to look through windows with a telescope. Your cat hasn't come back, and you're not worried, just letting your imagination run wild. I rubbed my shoulder. If it's not, then it's not. Why hit me? Zhao Shi glared at me again, then turned her head away. Time passed slowly. The two sat silently in the living room. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. My small house has never had a girl over. Who would have thought that today? I brought home the ice queen of the south side of the city, the girl who fascinates countless boys. At this time, she was sitting obediently in slippers, holding a teacup in her hand, taking small sips of water. She knew where the slippers were, knew where the coaster was, right at this moment. Zhao Shi suddenly turned her head, her eyes seeming to flicker with light, and said, "Hungry." After saying that, her delicate face blushed slightly, but her expression wasn't arrogant at all, even though she was essentially begging for food. But it was so matter-of-fact, at this moment I even thought I had misheard. What did you just say? Hungry? Are you saying that? I have to make dinner for you? Zhao Shi nodded with a slightly flushed face upon hearing his response. I was instantly dumbfounded. Wasn't this girl here as a guest? The host hasn't even offered, and she's taking the initiative to beg for food. This is the legendary using your face. Wow, not noble at all, but rather shameless. Zhao Shi silently looked at me, her beautiful eyes filled with seriousness and sincerity. That's right. Just hungry, just want to eat. Are you the host? Shouldn't the host brother give me food? I'm really scared of you. If it wasn't your first time here, I would have kicked you out. I helplessly stood up and went to the kitchen to make a plate of fried rice. Zhao Shi held the plate, eating while watching TV. While eating, she felt that this posture was a bit uncomfortable, so she kicked off her slippers and put her little feet on the sofa. This was completely like a lazy girl at home, even though this girl was unbelievably beautiful, practically a ceiling of pure desire. Does your foot still hurt? I couldn't help but look at it a dozen times before suddenly asking. Zhao Shi shook her head and put the empty plate on the table. Rested enough. Having eaten her fill and sat on the sofa, the school beauty suddenly turned a bit pink. So she tilted her head and leaned gently on my shoulder. Although she didn't turn into a cat, the habits are still there a little bit. Although Zhao Shi knew she shouldn't do this, she couldn't help it at this moment. To be closer to Li Mo. During this time with him, she was really happy. Being taken care of, being surrounded by gentleness, not having to learn piano or dance ballet, just needing to meow. This place is simply her paradise. But she didn't know why she suddenly couldn't turn into a cat today. She didn't know if this situation was temporary or permanent. Maybe she would never be able to become Zhao Shi again. So she wanted to be a little indulgent today. Quietly enjoying the last moment, Zhao Shi thought and thought, unable to stop sniffing with her delicate nose. Delicately smelling the scent on him. At this moment, my body stiffened. I was dumbfounded, sitting on the sofa, not daring to move at all. What on earth is going on? Am I crazy or is the school beauty crazy? After a while, Zhao Shi changed her posture. Rubbing against my shoulder, this made me feel even more like I was going crazy. Zhao Shi. Is there some misunderstanding between us? Zhao Shi raised her head somewhat blankly, her eyes very innocent. Why do I feel like you're not a stranger to me at all, and even very close? We've only known each other for 3 days, right? Just because of borrowing an umbrella, isn't it? I don't know. Did you mistake me for someone else? I think this explanation is more reasonable. The school beauty has fallen in love with someone who looks exactly like her. And then she treats me like that person. That's why this is happening. Otherwise, how could a pair of strange men and women have such an ambiguous posture right now? Zhao Shi wrinkled her delicate nose and punched him. Mistaken? Am I that stupid? Even mistake people? At this time, it was getting dark, and my house was slowly darkening, with only a few rays of light able to pass through the curtains. In this quiet and gentle night, Jiaoxi slightly raised her eyes and secretly glanced at Liam O. She can't turn into a cat, so she definitely can't spend the night here, otherwise. Who knows what terrible things might happen. And it's also time for her to go home and explain. She's been staying out all night every day. Her mother is probably going crazy, right? Thinking of this, Jiaoxi stood up and tidied her clothes. Going, she said. She's leaving. I seem to be eagerly driving her away. I hurriedly stood up. Seeing this scene, Jiaoxi couldn't help but frown slightly. So he was waiting for her to leave all alone? Bastard. Going, then going. Anyway, you don't care about me. As a cat, she didn't come back by nightfall, and he didn't even know to worry. Thinking of this, Jiaoxi angrily put on her little slippers and went out. After Jiaoxi left, I hurriedly changed into a jacket and followed her out. It's almost 8 o'clock. In theory, Jiaoxi should have been home 2 hours ago, but this darn cat is still nowhere to be found, which can't help but make me think of some very scary things. Where the heck did that darn cat go? Being your owner is just a never-ending worry. Meanwhile, inside the Boyo mansion, Jiaoxi finally returned to her home after being away for 4 days, and then in the servants' perplexed gazes, she walked inside. The butler saw her and rushed forward to greet her. Miss, you're back. Yes. Where's Mom? Madam is having tea in the tea room. Jiaoxi nodded and stepped into the villa. At this moment, in the tea room, a graceful lady was drinking tea. Seeing Jiaoxi enter, the lady couldn't help but look up slightly. I see, you're back. Jiaoxi nodded. I'm sorry, Mom. I shouldn't have run away from home. What's done is done. What's the use of apologizing? The lady put down her teacup, a hint of anger in her expression. Her name is Yu Shujing, Jiaoxi's mother, and also the vice president of the Jiangling Tea Industry Association. As a natural beverage from the mysterious East, tea's profits are comparable to gold, so the Zhao family is not only the richest in Jiangling, but also very well known throughout the country. However, since having Jiaoxi, their only daughter, Yu Shujing gradually withdrew from the company's management. She wanted to devote all her energy to nurturing her daughter, making her a chosen one. But she never expected her daughter to run away from home and disappear for a full 4 days, which disappointed her greatly. I don't want to hear your apology. I just want to know where you ran off to for these 3 days and 4 nights. Jiaoxi was a little afraid to answer. But she still weakly said, I went to my best friend's house for a few days. Mom, what exactly did I do to displease you so much that it made you run away from home? Nothing, Mom. I was just too tired and wanted to rest. Yu Shujing looked at her. What's too tired? Playing the piano, ballet dancing, Chinese painting, everything is tiring. If you're tired, can't you tell Mom? Why did you have to disappear secretly? Jiaoxi was silent for a moment, feeling wronged. She said, would it be useful if I told you? Hearing the grievance in her words, Yu Shujing pressed her temples. Suppressing her anger, she said, all right, go back and rest first. We'll talk about things tomorrow. After Jiaoxi left, Yu Shujing waved towards the door. Immediately after, a man in a black suit walked in. Madam, have you found out where Miss went? We followed her for several days. But Miss always disappeared in the blink of an eye. Yu Shujing looked annoyed. Forget it. Since she's back, don't investigate. Understood, madam. However, Mrs. Rout's leaving school these past few days highly overlap with that of a senior high school boy. I wonder if there's a problem. A boy? Yu Shujing was silent for a moment, and couldn't help but frown slightly. Could it be that the reason Jiaoxi suddenly ran away from home was because she was having a puppy love? No, that shouldn't be. Although Jiaoxi is in her rebellious phase, she would never do such an outrageous thing. She, as her mother, still has confidence in her daughter. Let's stop here for now. Don't follow her anymore. It's not good if she finds out. Yes, madam. Then I'll take my leave. The man in black bowed and turned to exit the tea room. At the same time, Jiaoxi had already reached the second floor of the villa. As soon as she returned to her room, she immediately breathed a sigh of relief, and her heart started pounding wildly. Mom didn't delve into the matter of her running away from home. Did she really believe the reason she gave? She has to tell Dr. Zhong Shuqi about this quickly. In case she calls to verify, she'll be exposed. So she quickly used QQ to find Zhong Shuqi. Chi-Chi, I need to ask you for a favor. What is it? If my mom calls you to ask where I've been these past few days, just say I've been staying at your place. On the other end of the signal, Zhong Shuqi immediately knew. She's not stupid. How could she not know what Jiaoxi meant when she said this? You're not just boarding. You ran away from home? You ran away for 4 days? My God. It's so dangerous outside. Where did you go, a girl, for 4 days? Jiaoxi bit her lip. Anyway, it was in a very safe place. Just remember that. Okay, but do you know about Li Mo's matter? Li Mo? What happened to him? Don't you look at the group chat? The supporting men group chat. The one I pulled you into last semester? What exactly happened? Is it about the bed again? No, you'll know once you go in and see for yourself. Jiaoxi felt baffled. So, she had to open the group chat she had muted. Upon entering the group chat, the first thing that caught her eye was a photo. The photo was of a cat. Its snow-white fur was like a beating heart. It proudly raised its head, its eyes as dazzling as the Milky Way. Jiaoxi was slightly stunned. Isn't this my photo? What's going on? Then, with a puzzled look, she looked at the chat history below. Everyone, my cat is lost. Above is its photo. Please, classmates who live near the school, please help keep an eye out. This cat is very important to me. It's a friend I can't lose. Please help. After reading the group chat, Jiaoxi tightly clutched her phone, her smiling face filled with panic. At this moment, she finally understood what had happened. Li Mo was searching the world for me. It's already the middle of a deep winter night. Could it be that she still has to go further afield to grow fur? It's just a cat they met by chance. Is it really that important to her? Thinking of this, Jiaoxi slowly lay down on the bed. Her heart felt like it was about to jump out. So, she was so eager for me to leave because she wanted to go out and look for the cat. She never forgot about Xiaoxi and always kept me in her heart. This feeling of being valued. She doesn't seem to have ever experienced it. But what to do now? I can't turn back into Xiaoxi. How to solve this matter? Can't just watch this guy really search all night. After thinking it over, she felt that there was only one way now. So, she picked up her phone and sent Li Mo a message. Your cat is with me. However, what she didn't expect was that after I received the message she sent, I opened the video call request without thinking. Seeing this scene, Jiaoxi was immediately flustered. Why a video call? She quickly tidied her hair and reached out to straighten the crooked doll on the bedside table. Only then did she carefully click to answer, and at the same time she clicked open, her cheeks were already flushed red. Seeing the youthful and flawless face on the screen, I immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Great! The cat is with you? Jiaoxi nodded, raising her hand to gesture a cat's paw shape. This guy, with such short legs, was actually able to run over to your place. Jiaoxi glared at me fiercely. You're the one with short legs. I felt inexplicable. I'm talking about my cat. Why are you getting angry? Jiaoxi didn't say anything. She just kept staring at me, although the light at night wasn't enough to make me clear. Whenever I walked near a street lamp, she could always see the silly smile on my face shining. She was really anxious to find herself. Afraid of losing her. Where's my cat? Show me. Asleep. Really? I thought for a moment. I felt that Jiaoxi didn't need to lie to me. It seems that little brat cat really is at her place? 2 little tsunderes actually met. Fate is really amazing. I smacked my lips. Please take care of her for me. I'll pick her up tomorrow afternoon. Midnight. I went home and went straight to the kitchen to start cooking. Jiaoxi looked at me blankly. I went out too quickly. I didn't have dinner and now I'm starving. I tossed the spoon a couple of times. By the way, my fried rice with egg is delicious, right? Jiaoxi bit her lip lightly. Delicious. I smiled smugly, taking the steaming fried rice, and brought it to the front of the camera. I didn't deliberately chase you away before. It was to find the cat. You know that, right? Jiaoxi nodded. So, if you have a chance to come play again, I'll treat you well as an apology. Jiaoxi's cheeks flushed slightly. Am I going to go again as a person? This guy's technique for inviting girls home is pretty skilled. At this time, I sat on the sofa with the fried rice with egg I made. Young lady, I'm going to eat. I'll hang up first. Don't hang up. Hearing this, I was stunned. What do you mean, don't hang up? Watching someone eat late at night to temper one's self-control? Is this joke too scary? So ruthless to herself, I took a teacup from the cabinet and propped up the phone. Then, I inserted the spoon into the fried rice and started to gobble it down. Jiaoxi is really cold and aloof. Not saying a word, just staring. After staring for a long time, she suddenly raised her hand to cover her small mouth and yawned. If you're sleepy, then sleep. Good night. I hung up the video call and lay in bed in a daze. When I was video chatting with Xiaoxi, how could I have felt like Xiaoxi was still here? Meanwhile, at Boyuhao Ting, Xiaoxi kicked off her slippers. She quietly kissed her small blanket. What to do? He's coming to pick up the cat tomorrow afternoon. But where am I going to find a cat to give him? As expected, one lie requires many lies to cover it up. One clear morning, I left my house to go to the pet store located in the west of the city. It was a super large pet supply mall with everything imaginable for pets. In order to deal with the situation of the fraudulent cat's disappearance, I decided to buy him a tracking bell. What I didn't expect was that Xiaoxi had also come to this mall at this moment. After thinking about it all night, he decided to find a similar cat as a substitute first. And as the largest comprehensive pet mall in Jinlin City, the variety of cats here is very complete, so he came here early in the morning, constantly searching in the cat area. The cat Xiaoxi keeps is a pure white ragdoll cat, as one of the most popular cat breeds among humans. Ragdoll cats are not uncommon in the pet market, but ragdoll cats that are pure white without any mixed colors are hard to find. His eyes were tired from looking, and he finally found two that were similar, but the problem was, one of these two cats was lazy and not magical at all. The other one was even more problematic. It turned out to be a male. A male cat definitely can't be bought. Li Mo, that rascal, always thinks about giving himself a bath. This male cat might expose the truth immediately, but that lazy cat doesn't have a proud demeanor at all, and is also a circle smaller than the normal version of Xiaoxi. What to do? While his eyes were constantly wandering, the eyes of everyone in the store fell on him. What a perfect picture of a cat and a girl. Amazing. Such a beautiful scene. Even anime probably couldn't create it. So many men in the store were getting restless. Miss, buying a cat? I'm very familiar with cats. How about we pick one together? Or add each other on WeChat? For any questions about cats in the future, you can ask me directly. At the same time, I was helping to find tracking bells everywhere. I passed by the cat area and saw Xiaoxi surrounded by a crowd at a glance. Xiaoxi? Why is he here? Right. Xiaoxi is still staying at his house. He must be here to buy Xiaoxi some food or supplies. At this time, Xiaoxi was carefully looking for a cat, with a somewhat unnatural expression. He doesn't like being followed, especially by some. But those men who came to strike up a conversation were too annoying, following him wherever he went. A hidden anger made him want to explode, his eyes full of coldness. Just at this moment, I waved to him. Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi in the crowd heard someone call his name, and immediately looked up. When he saw me, his eyes lit up instantly. Li Mo? Why did he suddenly appear here? Amid the shocked gazes of everyone, Xiaoxi walked through the shelves and suddenly came to my front. Then he used his hand to grab a corner of my clothes and hid behind me. I looked at the joke, and then looked at those men. So he was being hit on. But this is also normal, right? Who wouldn't be tempted by a girl like this? Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I'll accompany you around. Xiaoxi was very happy and left the cat area while holding onto a corner of my clothes. At this time, he completely forgot the purpose of his coming here. What pure white cat? What substitute? Who cares? Damn. So he has a boyfriend? What a waste of talent. This guy is too lucky, right? To be able to win over such a goddess. All the men in the store were dejected, their faces full of envy and jealousy. After leaving the cat area, I took Xiaoxi around the mall. Xiaoxi's fair little hand was holding onto a corner of my clothes, as if afraid of being left behind. The bell area is here. Let's go, come with me to take a look over there. Xiaoxi nodded. Okay. Xiaoxi must be very noisy at your house, right? That little rascal cat is not easy to handle at all. Hearing these words, Xiaoxi's little heart suddenly skipped a beat. Damn it, I was only focused on Li Mo, and completely forgot to buy a cat. What am I going to give him this afternoon? He'll definitely be angry if he knows I lied. Seeing Xiaoxi's unnatural expression, my face also changed. Could it be because of the name Xiaoxi that he thought of something? You don't get me wrong. My cat is called Xiaoxi. It's completely a coincidence. It's definitely not because I have feelings for you. Really, I would never treat it like you and rub you or anything. You absolutely mustn't overthink it. Xiaoxi blushed immediately, raising her fist up and down. On my shoulder. You bastard, maybe that's what you're thinking. If I wasn't mistaken, your eyes lit up when you were just talking. After purchasing the tracking collar, I planned to buy it some other food as well, so I brought Xiaoxi to the pet food section. Boys aren't very interested in things like food, but when I saw a pair of black cat ears, I was stunned. If Jiaoxi wore these, she should be very cute, right? As I was thinking, I turned around as if possessed and put the ears on Jiaoxi's head. Jiaoxi tilted her head slightly and looked at the mirror in front of her. Only then did she realize what I had done. Her face turned instantly red. She gave a soft grunt and punched my chest again. I was amused by her reaction. She's really cute. Why don't you just wear them? I'll give them to you. Jiaoxi turned her head away, but didn't try to take off the hair clip. A cat-like girl. I think she's tacitly approved, right? I couldn't resist my playfulness. Then I found a small gold bell. And this, do you want it? Jiaoxi raised her head with a soft grunt, not acting aloof, but her slightly red cheeks already betrayed her inner feelings. So I didn't stand on ceremony, holding up the bell necklace. I went around her neck to put it on her, my fingers brushing across her soft neck several times. This made my fingers start to tremble uncontrollably. It took a long time to put it on. At this moment, the state of the two was extremely close, as if they were kissing and hugging. Put it on. Looking at the dressed-up Jiaoxi, I couldn't help but swallow. Today, Jiaoxi is wearing a black school skirt with pointy, cute cat ears. And a small gold bell, simply explosively cute. Noticing my gaze, Jiaoxi immediately couldn't help but lower her head, her face filled with shyness. Okay, stop looking. We haven't paid yet. Hurry up and pay the bill. I finally came back to my senses and immediately embarrassedly looked away. Unexpectedly, when I turned my head, I saw something even more shocking.